Secretary Brinkley, because he and I have great respect for each other, but Secretary Brinkley, you couldn't be more wrong. When it comes to current funding, the state hasn't funded Thornton. And so how do you say to school systems that they're not doing an adequate job when you haven't funded them to what they need to get the job done? And let me give you an example. It is not patently false, sir. When it comes to us having to decide between funding at-risk students and special education students, we have to make that decision every single day because the adequate funding isn't coming from the state that we need to make those kinds of decisions. It's the very reason why we're looking at increasing the weights. So let's not paint this picture as we're still in campaign mode to where, oh, we're so funded for education, and it happened under Governor Hogan just like it happened under Governor O'Malley. This is not partisan. This is about a lack of education funding, period. And so for anybody to say, oh, well, we're doing all that we can, and why aren't the school systems doing what they should? I am sick and tired of sitting here and hearing that the LEAs are somehow doing something wrong. They are trying to do the best with what they have. Now, I will say to you that, yes, there are some systems who may not be putting all their money like they should. But please, let's not paint this broad brush for everyone and say that every single one of our LEAs is just not doing what they need to, and MSD isn't able to crack the whip on them, and so therefore that's the reason why students aren't performing. No, sir, I encourage you to come to Montgomery County Public Schools and sit down and talk with schools like Longview who don't have the money necessary, because I also have to spend the money right down the street at Neilsville Middle School, who's got 88% free and reduced meals, who's got 65% ELL students, and I've got to be able to fund Longview as well as Neilsville. And how do I make that happen if I'm not getting additional money from the state? Oh, by the way, only because of increases in the actual number of people, but not reflective of the needs that they have. Sir, that is the challenge that our LEAs face, and the reason why we're concerned about saying, well, then what are you going to do when you're talking about not increasing funding?